Moi moi, guten tag, privet, jambo, mahaba, it's me, Table, and welcome to an episode of Kerbal Space Program. Now, it's become very clear that I need to go back to school. So we did like the boring tutorials, now we get to do the really interesting ones. So, I got as far as intermediate construction, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just double check my notes, yeah? I have quite a lot of notebooks just hanging around here now that I just doodle stuff in. Yeah, we're on Suborbital flighters. So, without further ado, let's get involved, shall we? Don't mind if it does. That one, that, and this. Okay, we're good. Welcome. So I still don't have that SAS stabilize assist thing. Hello again. Glad you could make it back. Today we'll take an excellent step getting our first Kerbal into space. Yep, that's capital S. Hopefully you remember the controls we discussed in the basic flight tutorial. But don't forget that you can always press escape. Fine. Flight plan. Okay, what have I got to do? Tilt east to 80 degrees elevation on the nav ball by 150 meters per second. Start at 50. Right. Okay. So this is I wasn't familiar with this. I couldn't remember how to perform the turn. So it's Terratech stuff. So yeah, I'm getting a pen and paper out. I feel like this game requires a pen and paper. Right. So tilt to 80 degrees. Tilt to 80 degrees by 150 meters per second. This game is just 50 meters per second. Start at 50 meters per second. Oh, I'm moving the mouse. Tilt east 70 degrees on the nav ball by 400 meters per second. Oh my, this is complicated. Tilt 70 degrees on the nav ball, brackets on nav ball. How am I going to manage this? By 400 meters per second. Start at 250. I feel like that is the staple of getting out of orbit. After burnout, coast up into space and have a look around. Prepare for re-entry. Lastly, re-enter and land safely. Once you reach burnout, i.e. run out of propellant, we'll have a bit more to discuss. So, okay, I can see 70, but where's 80 on the nav ball? East is right, isn't it? North, south, east, west. Yeah, it is. Okay, so, here we go. Let's do this. Unlike the Hopper in our first session, this new craft is liquid-fueled engine. This means that you can throttle up and set the output. So yeah, I guess we should leave the throttle where it was. I'm just going to leave it there. Okay, here we go. So, try these out now, and you see the indicator needle. Yeah, that's fine. So it's going to tell me about it. SAS stands for Stability Augmentation System. Although Kerbal astronauts usually refer to it as Sickness Avoidance Scheme. Whatever it stands for. What it does is try to stop the ship from spinning around using the computer-controlled auto-torque drive compensator technology to counteract the rotation of the ship. In its simplest mode, it will keep the ship aligned with the orientation it has when you turn SAS on. Or your pitch, okay. SAS can be activated by... So whenever you turn it on, it will start assisting from that course. Interesting. You could... it's going to be deactivated momentarily by holding F. And it can be toggled on by pressing T. F equals SAS moment. Hold down. This game, man. This is going to be the perfect turn. You're going to see this. You're going to see absolute perfection. And then T equals SAS toggle. Okay. We're in business, I do believe. SAS can be activated or deactivated if on, yada, yada, yada. If you have problems following these maneuvers, once the SAS lift off, you can click small red button on the left of the nav ball that has a miniature target indicator. It's the lower left of the buttons. What? Once you enable SAS and lift off, you can click the small red button on the left of the nav ball. Left of nav ball, small red button. Okay. and that will cause the SAS to follow the target indicator and fly for you. Note this autopilot function will not be available until you are flying. Okay. This craft is a bit too much engine. We're going to throttle down for launch. Set your throttle to 2/3. Okay. Yeah, there's 2/3. Okay. Also turn on the stability assist. It's on. Ooh. This is all new. I don't remember seeing this. Normal, anti-normal, radial, radio out, target, anti-target. Okay. Right. I think it's okay. During the lesson, some of the information is quite detailed and could take a while to read. There's this short sub-tutorial hop. I don't want you to miss anything important. I will place warnings at the pages. You might want to pause and read. Okay, fine. Okay, enough talk. I'll unlock the rest of the flight controls and you'll be clear to launch. At any time, you may press escape. Throttle's fine. Space when we're ready. Remember to start turning at 50 meters per second. Fine. Okay, here we go. So I need to turn to 80 degrees on the nav ball. Okay, fine. Start turning at 50 meters per second. Finish turning by 150. Here we go. And there's 50. Start turning to 80. Hold it at 80. There we go. Hold it to 80. There we go. Now, when we hit 250, we need to turn to 70. Oh, I can do this. There we go. Now we continue turning. There we go. Just hold it there. I can do this. This is easy to remember. Okay. And I do believe that we're good. Throttle up. Fine. I can do that turn. I can execute that turn. That's fine. That's nowhere near as bad as I thought it was. As soon as you write it down, you're sorted. Am I not going to burn up? Warning out to guess. Great work. You succeeded in getting your ship on a trajectory bound for space. I've now set your target indicator to align with your velocity vector. Okay. What does that mean? That will minimize drag by turning the smallest side of your vehicle into the airflow. Somewhere around here, you will see a nav ball, speed indicator, auto switch from surface to orbit. Right, okay. Okay. Accompanied by a speed number jumping. Go ahead and switch back to surface mode by clicking on it until it says surface again. Surface, or target, orbit, surface. Now that you're coasting our way to Apoapsis, that's the highest point. And you're currently AP thing, projected path. Look, I'll show you. If you press M, the AP is your highest point. See? There we go. Now that you're coasting to that, we've got a little time to chat. Once you clear the atmosphere, we'll go over what you can do in space. Well, I have cleared the atmosphere. I have cleared it. Okay, so to do science, you can observe mystery goo, and then you can recover it if you want. But I mean, while we float up here, oh, I love the space music. It's so good. It's like an achievement music. While we float up here here beyond the atmosphere, I'll quickly tell you about a couple of things you can do with an advanced enough astronaut complex in the Kerbal Space thing. We can train our Kerbals to be able to spacewalk or EVA, although we won't be doing that on this flight. Also, when we're carrying science devices like our goo containers, we can perform experiments. Feel free to play with the goo canisters now by right-clicking on them, and we can observe mystery goo. There we go, sorted. And you can do a crew report, and that can give you more science. Yeah, there we are. So I'm just going to turn to follow that waypoint. Do you like the engine, how it turns? Here we go. Warning. Detailed info, press escape to pause if necessary. As we near the edge, we turn our butt around. Best to re-enter bottom first, and since we've ascended at 70 degrees pitch, we'll naturally re-enter at 70 degrees pitch. So, there we go, 70 degrees pitch. So I must remember that. Enter at 70, go in at 70. Nice job. Hold steady for your new altitude. Let SAS do the job. Fine. And get ready to decouple the stage and start re-entry. And get ready to decouple, not decouple. See, I thought I would decouple this thing a lot sooner. I mean, like, I didn't think I'd follow this down quite so heftily. Let's get rid of that booster since it's weighing us down. See ya! During re-entry, with your pod orientated this way, drag procedure items nearest the top. Aerodynamic forces alone will hold you. Will hold it properly stabilised. Oh no! Warning: re-entry. I'm still at 70. It's fine. Do I have a heat shield? No. Now you're re-entering Kerbal's atmosphere. Make sure to keep your hands inside the pod at all times. We don't want you getting burnt or anything. Don't mind the flames. Vermias is world-famous rocket scientist. After all, he's built the ship to withstand them. So I'm coming. There we go. So that's now. Yeah, go to 70. Oh, it's fine. I'll be fine. Last time we watched a parachute icon and wait for the right time to open the chute. This time we are going to do something a little different. Remember in the construction tutorial where you assigned the parachute to 75 atmospheres? Yeah, which was like 2 kilometers. That means the chute won't perform the first 2 of its deployment steps until then. Even if you activate staging now on Kerbin, 70 means 2,000 altitude above sea level. The craft should be travelling slow enough then and activate the chute. Let's take the bold step of arming the chute now and let the smarts on there pop. Okay. My chute's ready. Here, in we go. My angle's good, 70 degrees. Very little heat experience there on re-entry. I did quite good there. Awesome. While your chute is not actually semi-deployed around 2 kilometers, we do look out for the mission control. We do need to ensure that the opening height, its second full deployment step, is correct. You can even adjust these parameters during the flight by right-clicking on the parachute now and looking at the sliders. Okay, good. Don't touch the pressure slider, or bad things will happen. Make sure the deployment chute is 5,000 meters. Yep. Once you're satisfied, you can wait until 2 kilometers, and then that's it. That's us done. Okay. So this should open at 2,000. Oh man, that I tell you what, the tilt exit is the exit you want in orbital flight. So we've got that figured, haven't we? Yes, the chute is away. Now enjoy a leisurely float down to the surface. Okay, so that's how you should leave the atmosphere. The only mistake I made was that I went too fast out of the atmosphere. Because I was getting a lot of heat from that. A lot of heat. Let's just close these containers. Book. Book. There we go. I'm never going to put containers on like that. Like, never going to do it. Not doing that anymore. So, that would to me a very successful suborbital flight, no? Table you're learning. I've got my information there. Bit scribbled down, but it's good. I tell you what, I can't think of the last game where I've had to have a book to to remember stuff. I reckon From the Depths would be a game that's like that. But this game, man, but it makes you want to do well because you just kind of smash stuff up and kind of explode. That's great, but I want to like have something in orbit. I want to have one of these guys, these Kerbalnauts, in orbit constantly, just sending back data with their solar panel little pod thing flying, whizzing round. Welcome back. Congratulations. I have. You know what? I have done that actually. I have done that. I'm pretty pleased with that whole thing. Recover vessel. No? Okay. Exit scenario. End scenario. Whoop. Okay. Should we go for orbital as well? Yeah, let's do it. Oh, wait. Suborbital flight. Advanced construction. Oh, let's do that one then. Fine. Oh, man. Orbiting. Man. Okay. Welcome to the third and final tutorial about construction. The advanced construction tutorial. Cheers. Thanks very much, buddy. Thank you, buddy. Oh, in our last tutorial we built a vessel. Yeah, I'm guessing you want me to do that. If you mess up, you can press Control Z. Ah, so you can undo. Okay. Main principles are the same, so I hope you remember what I taught you. I hope so too, to be honest. That's the only pod I have available. Thank you. Just like last time, add a parachute. That's in utility. And again, like last time, set my chute to 75, 1000. Sorted. It's going to consist of a decoupler, an RSC fuel tank, a liquid fuel tank, 4 thrusters, 4 solar panels, 4 batteries and an efficient upper stage engine. Oh, yeah, that's quite a lot, actually. Okay, fine. First, we need to add a decoupler. If your arrows are not pointing down, that's not good, so you must adjust them. Ah, okay. So arrows always down on decouplers. Duke, 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 duke. Sorted. You know what? I'm just going to write that down. Arrows down on the decouplers. This game, man. This game. Hopefully, you're here with me and you're writing things down on a little booky piece of paper as well, because it seems this game needs it. Right, so that's on. Well, I've put it on now, so it should let me... If the arrows are not pointing down, that's not good. Detach it from the pod and use the WASD keys to rotate it. Yeah, and then reattach. It's on. Do I have to do 2 decouplers? Why? Let's just grab a decoupler. That should be it, shouldn't it? What have I done wrong? Firstly, we're at a stack decoupler. That's that. And let's discard the parts we don't want to bring back with us. Grab a decoupler from the toolbox and attach it to the bottom of the pod, paying close attention to the little red arrows. Maybe it wants me to put it on wrong first. We discussed this before. Point up to make sure that the Wait a second. Now it says it's okay. Oh, if the arrows are pointing down, that's not good. Ah! Oh, good job. I read that right. Arrows up. Always up. Oops. Always up. Okay, fine. Sorry about that. An RCS tank. Okay. RCS fuel. I know, I've not even seen this fuel before. What is RCS fuel? For RCS thrusters. Okay. Reaction control system. And this fuel will help that. Okay. Oh, why? Oh, you can put less fuel in. To 100 units. Okay. Ah. Monopropellant is called that because while large rocket engines use 2 propellants, fuel and oxidizer, RCS uses a single propellant. The RCS is generally less efficient, but is good for small velocity changes in any direction, rather than just forwards like the main engines, and can be used to rotate the craft as well as move. Okay, so that's for orbital stuffs. We'll be adding multiple liquid fuel tanks on this stage to get the right amount for the upper stage engine. Oh. Tiny rocket propellant tank. The 100, like that, and then the 400. Okay. Really? All that kind of propellant on there? Add a Terrier engine. Okay. What does that engine do? Main part of this upper stage, we add an engine, a Terrier engine, produces almost no thrust at sea level or air pressure, but is highly effective in space above 20 kilometers, where the atmosphere is thin enough to not interfere with the exhaust. That makes it a good choice for upper stage, since the engine will not be activated until the rocket has reached the conditions. Right, okay, so that's another thing. Terrier engine. Use above 20k. Yeah. Okay, that's very useful to know. I think I've got Terrier engines actually. Good. Nicely done. That's pretty well assembled upper stage, if I do say so myself. I'll get you to orbit if you put the rocket under it. While you have this reasonably simple vessel here, let's explore one of the other useful tools that we have available to make sure that your ship flies controllably. Some parts need to be placed carefully around the point inside the ship called the centre of mass. This centre of mass is a spot that if we press that we get centre of mass. Okay, good. Right, okay. If you have this marker, let's have a look at how the indicator works here. Click on the centre of mass indicator toggle And we have a play. Fine. Okay, let's adjust the fuel levels in some of the tanks to see how that affects centre of mass. Right click on each fuel tank and drag the fuel oxidizer down to 0. Ah, okay. Book, book. Refill the tanks. Okay, so that's interesting to know. Now that you know where the centre of mass is, where the stage is full and when it's empty, you have information you need on the RCS thrusters. RCS thrusters are found in the command and control category. Oh, I haven't unlocked these things yet. I really would like those. Moving the spaceship without rotating it is called translation. This is a useful kind of manoeuvre for several reasons, including docking to other craft. In order to transition with RCS to avoid unwanted rotation, you need to balance the thrusters around the centre of mass, so the net sum of forces is balanced right on the natural pivot point. For 2 equal sets of thrusters, each set should be equidistant from the centre of mass. And for a single set, what we're doing here, they should be right around the centre of mass itself. What makes this complicated is that the centre of mass changes during flight, as you just saw, so you need to place the thrusters at a compromise point between the wet centre of mass and the dry centre of mass. Fine. Note that in career mode, RCS thrusters don't become available until fairly late. In the meantime, the reaction wheel capability built into your command pod will probably be enough for turning in space, although reaction wheels would not allow you to translate. Right, well that's unfortunate. Let's turn the angle snap to make aligning the thruster parts easier. Do that by clicking on the toggle snap. See? Okay, nice. I didn't know that. Let's get writing. C. Toggle snap. Sorted. And then we want to change the symmetry to ×4. I can do that with X. I know that. And place a set of RV105 RCS thruster blocks on your upper stage. What on earth are those? RV... What frig are those? What are they? RV105 RCS thruster blocks. I have no idea what those things are. Ah, okay. No, it's a fuel tank. RCS thruster blocks. RT10? RV105? I don't know what those things are. What are they? Let's turn the angle snap on to make sure that they snap. Yep. And ensure we have 4x symmetry turned on. And then place a set of 4 RV105 RCS thruster blocks. Oh, it's the friggin' engines that he mentioned. The radio engines. Yeah, there we go. Where do you want them? On your upper stage. So it needs to be around the centre of mass, doesn't it? But the drive centre of mass is kind of there. Is that not okay? If you don't get the placement right, you can also use the offset gizmo to fine-tune their position. That's right, isn't it? On your upper stage. Oh, okay, so this bit. Boop. No. Place to attach these just in case you need a hint. The tiny rocket propellant tank is just about the right spot. Okay, so there. No, that one. Wow, you're really not letting me do this. The tiny rocket propellant tank is just about the right place to attach, just in case you need a hint. If you don't get the placement quite right, you can use the offset gizmo. I'll turn off the centre of mass indicator, which was C, isn't it? There we go, okay. Electric charge. Lots of things on a craft use electric charge. That's what us cool scientists call rocket electricity. In order to keep the batteries topped up, you need a way of generating power. Couldn't agree more. I don't have solar panels in career mode yet. Now, Now your engines generate electricity while they're running, but you don't want to keep your engine running in orbit. Your orbit will get all kinds of messed up, and you'll run out of propellant. Our command pod has some batteries built into it, but you need to be safe and add some more batteries and add solar panels or other electrical generating items. Okay. Switch to electrical. Don't mind if it does. Oh, I really want these in career mode. We will use all. We'll use our part rotation skills to adjust the panels. Grab the Oxstat panels. Yep. Hold it over the lower end of the fuel tanks. The lower end of the fuel tanks. Okay, so down there. And press A to rotate 90 degrees. And then click and press a set of them. Like that, I guess. Now go ahead and place a set of batteries between the solar panels. Fine. Okay, I guess like that. Upper stage complete. Excellent work. You've built a nice starter upper stage, which will do well for some orbital exploration. I don't have this technology. Now we need to work on getting it up into orbit, and for that we'll build up a lower stage. In comparison to the upper stage, it's quite simple. Just a couple of tanks and an engine. That won't be enough alone, however, we need to add some boosters too. Okay, fine. Add another decoupler. Yeah, sure can. Whoop. Arrows pointing up, of course. We need to... I notice that how you add the decoupler, a fairing is placed around the engine. This will get jettisoned automatically when the stage decouples. No problem with that. Now we have to add fuel tanks. FTL 400 fuel tank. How many? Just one. We know that one. It's this one. Whoop. It's 4 times the size. We know that. To the bottom of the stack. Done. How many do you want? Oh, what was it? It was Alt to copy, wasn't it? Yeah. 2. Okay. Add a swivel engine. Fine. I can add a swivel engine. Whoop. Don't mind if it does. Tweak the swivel. At its default thrust level, the swivel is too powerful for a rocket we're creating. And for the ascent profile we're going to teach you in the Go for Orbit tutorial. So you'll need to lower its thrust level. This isn't as good a solution as picking a smaller, lighter engine with the thrust level we want, but, well, there are only so many options. Right-click on the swivel and set its thrust to 65%. No worries. Nice, you have the core of your rocket completed. But as I said before, they also need to add some boosters and help sustain engine. Help the sustainer engine get the rocket up and running. We'll add 2 boosters symmetrically. Okay, so let's do that. Radial decouplers, okay. Which are these radial decouplers. Boop. More boosters is something you often hear around the Kerbal Space Center, and now it's time to add some. A pair of RT hammers. Okay, RT hammers. Boop. Ding. See, I have those. I wouldn't have thought to have built a rocket like this. But, well, we've got one. Yep, fine. Tweak the thrust. Unlike liquid fuel engines, where you can adjust the throttle during flight, once you light an SRB, it burns at constant thrust fuel level. However, use the throttle limiter as we did on the swivel to set the constant thrust. Ooh, so you can set them. You can set them before takeoff. That's really useful. That's like crazy useful. But it's not going to let me. You go over there a second, buddy. 50. Book. Does it do both of them? Yeah, it does. Oh, that's glorious. I didn't know you could set the thrust limit for boosters. I didn't know that. Add nose cones. Sure can, buddy. Don't mind if I does. Add fins. 4 times symmetry. There we go. Just like that, no? Oh, it's not on 4 times. That's 4 times. Well, isn't that a delicious looking rocket, if I do say so myself? Okay, what's wrong with my staging? This is staging here, by the way. Excellent. We've now got all the Components on our basic orbital rocket. Let's run a few extra things before we call it a day. Firstly, we should review a staging checklist. Let's just check boosters, radial decouplers, liquid engine, decoupler, swivel engine, decoupler, parachute. I mean, that looks fine, to be honest. Move the swivel staging icon down to the same stage as the SRBs. What, to there? No. To there. Wait a second. Let's just move the swivel staging icon down to the same stage as the SRBs. I know what an SRB is. What is that? Solid rocket boosters? No, the swivel engine needs to go down there like that. Yeah, and then I need to fix this because that's not right. Radials, main one, okay. Sorted. So they fire at the same time, okay. Finally, pick up the rocket pod and rotate it 90 degrees around the vertical axis. What? This will rotate the ship, not just the VAB, but also set the orientation when we go to the launch pad. So if I just hold that and go Q. Okay, so I guess that's useful for when I take off. That's quite a rocket. That is definitely an advanced rocket. Action groups. What's an action group? Oh, my days! This is complicated. We always make an effort to ensure our brave crew survive and hopefully take some stance in your space program. It doesn't always work out that way, of course, but it's also thought that counts, at least those who are not in the rocket at the time. With that in mind, let's see the abort action group in your craft and use it in case of emergency. Note that in career mode you'll have to upgrade the VAB or SPH in order to access this option. Click on the turquoise action groups button below the left toolbar. That one. Oh. Okay. Action groups let you assign the functions to one or more parts of a single specific key. 1 to 9, yada yada yada. We're going to set up the action group. It's triggered by pressing backspace or by clicking a big red abort button in flight. It slides out from the left of the altitude panel at the top of the screen when you mouse over the area. Okay. First click on the abort thing. Abort. Fine. Now click on the decoupler right below the pod. Book. Yep. Click on the radio decouplers and assign decouple. Oh wait, no. I have to hold shift. No. Decouple. And then these, decouple. Yeah? Click on each liquid engine in turn and assign their shutdown functions. Click on one of the radio decouplers and assign decoupler. Okay, liquid engines. Shutdown engine. Shutdown engine. Whew, okay, got it. And there we are, your orbital rocket is ready to fly. It's been a long lesson and thanks for hanging in there, and we've covered lots of different advanced technologies for rocket construction. Give the new ship a name and save it and we're good to go, yeah. Orbital table. Sorted. Now I feel like that was very necessary, like that was really necessary to do, because we've learnt about like the SAS and stuff, and okay, yeah. It's a must in this game. The tutorial is an absolute must. We will fly it in the next episode. In the meantime, I've been Table. Thanks so much for that. I know it's a lot of information, but I'm sure it'd be worth it when we're up and flying. It's going to be fantastic. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Oh, and don't forget to...